how it all began. Hey, everyone. I'm not sure how to start this post, but here goes. My name's Jake, just your average 17-year-old kid from a small town in Ohio. I don't usually share much about myself online, but I need to get this off my chest. Maybe someone out there will relate, or maybe you'll just think I'm another loser looking for sympathy. Either way, here's my story. To set the stage, I've always been a quiet guy. Not exactly cool, but not a total outcast either. I like math, chess, and messing around with coding. Yeah, I know, super nerdy, right? But until sophomore year, that was fine. I had a few close friends and never felt like I needed to impress anyone. I even had a crush on this girl from my neighborhood, Emily, who I've known since we were kids. She's beautiful, smart, and funny, a total dream. Not that I ever told her how I felt. Life was okay, you know? I kept my head down, did my homework, and stayed out of trouble. That changed the day I crossed paths with Ryan and his crew. Ryan's your stereotypical high school alpha, star quarterback, perfect smile, and an ego the size of Texas. He'd barely noticed me before, but one day, that changed. And not in a good way. It started small, snide comments when I'd answer a question in class or a sarcastic nice shoes, Jake when I wore my old, scuffed sneakers. I tried to laugh it off at first. Stupid, right? I thought ignoring it would make it go away. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Looking back, I think Ryan started picking on me because I was an easy target. I didn't fight back, didn't have a big group of friends to defend me. It wasn't like I was the only one he bullied, but something about me seemed to really get under his skin. Maybe it was because I never gave him the reaction he wanted, or maybe it was because I didn't fit into his picture-perfect world. This is just the beginning. Trust me, it gets worse. Way worse. So, things escalated pretty quickly after Ryan started targeting me. What started as little digs in class turned into something more constant, like background noise I couldn't escape. There was this one time during lunch that really stands out. I was sitting with my friends, well, acquaintances, really, Tim and Alex. They're both into D&D and gaming, and we were arguing about some lore when Ryan walked by with his crew. He didn't even break stride before grabbing my tray and dumping it onto my lap. "Oh no, Jake. Did your spaghetti have an accident?" he said, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. His crew Chad, Matt, and Jared burst out laughing. The whole cafeteria went quiet for a second, and then there were snickers and whispers everywhere. I just sat there, frozen. My jeans were soaked, and the smell of tomato sauce was overwhelming. My friends didn't say a word, they just looked down at their trays. I wanted to yell, to fight back, but all I could do was mumble, "Nice one, Ryan," like a total idiot. He slapped me on the back and said, "Good talk, nerd," before walking off. After that, it felt like everyone saw me differently. The whispers followed me in the hallways. People started avoiding me, like being seen with me would put a target on their backs too. Even Emily started acting weird around me. She'd smile politely if we passed each other on the street, but at school, it was like I didn't exist. The worst part? I started believing the things Ryan said about me. That I was boring, ugly, useless. I mean, why else would this be happening to me? It wasn't like I had some huge personality flaw, but at the same time, I couldn't figure out how to make it stop. I felt trapped. Like I was sinking into quicksand, and the more I struggled, the deeper I sank. The worst day of my life, or so I thought at the time, happened about a month after the spaghetti incident. It was a Friday, and I was looking forward to the weekend because, honestly, school was starting to feel like a battlefield. I was in gym class, which I already hated. I'm not exactly athletic, and running around in front of people who live to make you feel small isn't my idea of fun. That day, we were playing dodgeball. Ryan and his crew were, of course, on the opposing team. About 10 minutes in, Ryan hit me square in the face with a ball, hard. My glasses went flying, and I hit the floor. The gym exploded with laughter. Even the teacher, Mr. Callahan, smirked before telling Ryan to keep it clean. "Whoops, sorry, Jake," Ryan called out, his voice dripping with fake concern. "Didn't see you there. You're so skinny, you're practically invisible." I got up, face burning, and tried to find my glasses. As I was fumbling around, I heard Jared whisper, "Hey, watch this." Before I could react, they did the unthinkable. Jared grabbed my gym shorts and yanked them down. Right there. In front of everyone. The room exploded into chaos. There were gasps, laughter, and someone shouting, "Oh my God, boxers with planets on them? Are you 5?" And then I saw her, Emily, standing on the sidelines with her friends. Her face went bright red, and she looked away, covering her mouth like she was trying not to laugh. I don't even know how I managed to pull my shorts back up. My hands were shaking so badly, I couldn't even tie the drawstring. My mind was blank except for one thought: get out of here. Now. I sprinted out of the gym and didn't stop until I was in the bathroom, locking myself in a stall. I stayed there until the end of class, listening to the sound of guys coming in and joking about Jake the Spaceboy. That night, I cried myself to sleep for the first time in years. I hated myself for being weak, for caring what they thought, for letting them get to me. But most of all, I hated that Emily saw me like that. After that day in the gym, I felt like my life had completely unraveled. The nickname Spaceboy stuck, and it wasn't long before the entire school was using it. I couldn't walk down the hallway without someone pointing at me and laughing, or worse, pretending to pull their pants down as I walked by. I stopped eating lunch in the cafeteria. It wasn't like Tim or Alex were much company anymore, they were too scared to even sit with me. Instead, I started hiding in the library or behind the bleachers. Anywhere I could disappear. Home wasn't much better. My parents noticed I was acting off, but I couldn't bring myself to tell them what was going on. My dad's the tough-it-out type, and I didn't want to hear a lecture about standing up for myself. My mom would have tried to help, but I knew she'd just call the school, and that would have made things 10 times worse. Emily was the hardest part. We used to talk sometimes when we saw each other outside of school. Nothing major, but enough to keep my ridiculous crush alive. After the gym incident, though, she stopped even saying hi. She wasn't mean or anything, just distant. And that hurt more than anything Ryan could have done to me. I started spiraling. My grades slipped, which was a first for me. I couldn't focus in class because all I could think about was how everyone was probably laughing at me behind my back. I didn't sleep much either. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see Ryan's smug face or hear Emily's laughter echoing in my head, even though I wasn't sure she'd actually laughed. It got to the point where I started wondering if life would ever get better or if this was just it. If I was destined to be Spaceboy forever. But then something happened that shook me out of my misery. Someone unexpected stepped into my life and flipped everything upside down.